The house was quieter than usual that Saturday afternoon. My dad had left early for a business trip, which meant it was just me and Lisa, my stepmom, at home. We'd never really bonded much since she married my dad a year ago. She was nice enough, always trying to make conversation, always asking how school was going, but I mostly kept to myself. It wasn't that I didn't like her, but she wasn't my mom, and I didn't see the point in trying to build some deep connection. After my morning workout, I decided to take a shower. The warm water felt good on my muscles, and I let myself relax under the spray longer than usual. Once I got out, I wrapped a towel around my waist and walked to my room. I had left my door slightly open, figuring no one else was around to walk in on me. I grabbed a fresh pair of boxers from my dresser and was just about to change when the door suddenly swung open. Lisa stepped inside, holding a stack of freshly washed laundry. "Oh," she froze, her eyes widening in surprise. My heart stopped for a second as I realized I was standing there, half naked, still dripping water from my shower. "Lisa," I shouted, instinctively grabbing the first thing I could, my t-shirt, and holding it in front of me. Her face turned red as she immediately spun around, shielding her eyes. "I'm so sorry. I should have knocked." There was a moment of tense silence. My heart was pounding, and I could hear her breathing just as heavily. Yeah," I muttered, scrambling to pull on my boxers under the towel. "You should've." She let out a nervous laugh. I just wanted to drop off your laundry. I didn't know you were changing." I finally pulled my shirt over my head and exhaled. "Well, now you do." Still facing the other way, she nodded quickly.
"Right."
I'll just leave these here." She placed the stack of clothes on my bed without turning around and hurried toward the door. Just before she stepped out, she hesitated for a second, like she wanted to say something. But instead, she shook her head, muttered, "Sorry again," and disappeared into the hallway. I stood there for a moment, staring at the door, still gripping the towel in my hands. That was weird. I had expected her to be embarrassed, maybe even laugh it off, but there was something about the way she reacted that unsettled me. For the rest of the day, I avoided her. It wasn't like I was mad at her or anything, I just didn't know how to act around her now. Normally, I would have gone downstairs and raided the fridge for a snack, maybe watched TV in the living room, but instead, I stayed holed up in my room, playing video games and scrolling through my phone. At dinner, I kept my head down, focusing on my plate. Lisa had cooked spaghetti, which smelled amazing, but I barely tasted it. Every now and then, I could feel her eyes on me. "So, how was your day?" she asked, her voice careful. I shrugged. "Fine." She twirled her fork in her pasta, hesitating before speaking again. "Look, about earlier." I swallowed, my appetite disappearing. "It's not a big deal." She sighed. "I don't want things to be weird between us." I finally looked up at her. She wasn't just saying that to be polite. She genuinely looked worried, like she was afraid I'd start resenting her over something that was, honestly, just an awkward accident. I exhaled, forcing a small smile. "It's fine, Lisa. Really." Her shoulders relaxed slightly. "Okay, good." And just like that, the tension melted. After dinner, I went back to my room, thinking that would be the end of it. But about an hour later, there was a knock on my door. This time, it was soft, hesitant. I set my phone down. "Yeah." Lisa peeked her head in. "Can we talk?" I sat up, bracing myself. "About what?" She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. "I just wanted to make sure everything's okay between us." I sighed, rubbing the back of my neck. "Lisa, I told you it's not a big deal. It was just an accident." "I know, but..." She sat down at the edge of my bed, folding her hands in her lap. "I don't want you to feel uncomfortable in your own home." I glanced at her. She was being serious. I let out a breath. "I guess it was just awkward. But I get it. You weren't trying to do anything weird." She smiled softly. "Thank you for understanding."
For a moment, we just sat there.
And then something unexpected happened. We actually started talking. Not just about the incident, but about other things, school, my favorite video games, even some of the movies she liked. I had never really taken the time to get to know her before, but sitting there with her, I realized she wasn't just some random woman who married my dad. She was a person who actually cared. That night, as she left my room, I felt something shift. It wasn't a huge, dramatic moment, but it was enough to make me see her in a new light. Maybe having her around wasn't such a bad thing after all.